me and you were coming back from somewhere. We stopped. We were like sitting down. I was like, dude, I think I'm done. Like when we go back, like I can't. If I'm ever gonna like move on, like I'm 22, like if I'm ever gonna have like a real life or like whatever, I'm done like being the butt of the joke.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
That looks very nice with your eyes.
Thank you.
Those are popping. We got Hennessy in the building. We got a lot to talk about, but we have to talk about the sad news looming over the building right now is the number one rider in the nation.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The number one rider in the nation.
Former number one rider. I've kind of weaned off that.
That's right. I mean, it was rocky for Rico and the riders. How about that for a fucking headline with alliteration?
I actually have not a lot to say, but some funny things to say.
Let's do it.
And I'm not going to do it. I'm a company man.
It doesn't work for the company.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm kind of. I obviously last night holiday party was drinking and just kind of being hopeful, like, oh, he's gonna come back. He told me. But today I'm like, it's kind of over.
Last night Hank said 7 days, like the fucking ring. He goes 7 days, and if it doesn't like reverse in 7 days, then I'll admit it's over. He goes, I just have this hope that like 10 a.m. he's gonna roll in tomorrow. It's like I don't think so, bro.
It's like someone said to me last week. I was talking about Brady. Someone's like, dude, we keep hoping Dad's coming home with the milk. He's not.
I still think that's happening.
I'm with you on that one.
that one's like if Rico's 10% chance, Brady's like 30.
Yeah, no, Brady will eventually do it no matter what. Like it's just a matter of whether it'll be for actual games or one of those like fake contracts.
I actually hope they don't even do that one day. I hate that one day.
Yeah, yeah. Just I mean, it's fine. He retired.
No one ever thinks
no one will be.
Yeah.
No one ever.
You
thinks
don't need to do that.
Oh, he retired a Patriot.
No,
who
fucking cares. Yeah. Rico we had him on here not too long ago when the negotiations were getting rocky, and I understand every side of this one. I really do, because on the one hand, Rico was an extreme punching bag. Like he got it worse than anybody. And as someone who's been a punching bag on the internet, like I get it. After a while, you just can't do it. So there's a lot of people out there who are like, he pissed away this opportunity and he spit in the face of people who gave him this opportunity. And like, I understand from the outside it might look like that because he's working with Dan and Dave and they're so popular and shit. But also, he was like mentally tormented to the point that he was like, I'm not happy here. So, what the fuck can you do? Like, I know other people are like, I would do it. It's like, okay, well, you would, he wouldn't. Like maybe you could handle it, maybe you couldn't. We don't know because you're not in that position. But he did it and was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So, everyone makes their own decisions. Now, what I think is funny is quitting on the day of the fucking holiday party. We spoke yesterday. I thought he was going to do it on Friday. He was going to put it in his 2 weeks. He meant that he made the decision. He actually pulls the plug on the day where like we are rallying the company together to talk about the state of the union
like
and shit.
Like an hour before the company.
Yeah.
Like I mean, actually, like I don't even know.
We got an email in the middle of the presentation.
I think most of the people learned on the presentation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like 99%.
Yeah,
we were privy to it, but yeah,
like,
everyone else gets an email from Dave just saying, Bosco's gone. And he's screaming into the microphone, Bosco's gone.
No, Bosco's out.
Bosco's out.
Bosco's out. Bosco's out. I couldn't tell if they had that, if someone had that looped, or if Dave kept saying it exactly.
That was just Dave.
He just kept saying the same thing.
It sounded like a recording. Now, I mean, it is sad though for a guy like yourself.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I know you said the last year was whatever, but you were like the number one rider for like a decade.
For sure, it was my favorite. Probably my favorite shtick. Like I don't really do the shtick thing, but that was like my favorite thing to do was just to like be a rider and go at Dan and Dave, no matter what, how preposterous Rico's arguments were, and just like try and defend them and find a reason to be like, no, like he's making good points. But I learned like over time, like even in the past year where I kind of stopped, where it's like I thought it was pretty obvious like what I was doing, and I think he always was like, yeah, no, like listen, like I got backup. Like that was the part with Rico where he never really did get that part of it. Like he was dead serious with all of his arguments, where it's like they were so outlandish, and it's like
I don't know, man.
you got backup. Like trust me. And like the people on Twitter that would tweet him stuff, he's like, boom, back up. Like,
yeah.
I'm right.
But I've also had very candid conversations where he's been like, I know what's going on here. So sometimes, but then, you know, he would, even when saying like, sometimes I'm like, was this double like character where it's like he's the character and then by saying like, look at this back up and I'm blocking all those people, and because then there would be times where he was like, I'm blocking everybody and the Ryder, you know, like, so I'm like, all right, you know, he does get it. It is a shtick.
The characters at Barstool are almost like real life in real life. Where you just wake up one day like, I don't even realize how I got here.
Yes.
Right? And it's just like, I didn't even, like, I don't know, like, people like this one thing I did, so I did it. And then, like, it became all I do. And now I'm like, how the fuck did I get here? Like,
I think it's...
I think, like almost like someone who wakes up in the suburbs, like, at 40 with two kids. Like, wait, I used to be...
Yeah. I used to be like the man at the party.
I was important one day.
You find yourself like, you're like watering the lawn, worrying about like how green the grass is. And you're like, what the fuck is this? I used to be cool.
It's like you black out from like 21 to 40.
Yes.
Wait, what? The fuck happened?
I think when people do characters, it's you have to be like really dedicated to the bit to like never, like, eventually you do feel like you're a fucking like dancing monkey, you know what I mean? And eventually you want to just be yourself, and like he just wants to talk about college basketball and shit. But it's like, that's not, you know, same thing with Nate. Nate never wants to do the spider monkey thing, and it's like, I get it, but then also by not doing it, that comes with a certain repercussions.
In the seats,
right.
So like Green just wants to write about the Celtics.
Right. And that'll get you where that gets you, and that's that, you know.
I Green. I'm just thinking of that because the Greeny tab became a thing. But the
I go on it. I'm in exclusively looking for Celtics blogs audience, which I don't think is that big. But.
Right, but there's the people who do want that, and the guy who wants to write about that. So there you go.
21-5, eh? Beat the shit out of the Suns last. Dude, I'll tell you what. Real quick interjection. Losing Zander sucked,
nasty.
but the fucking Boston Bruins played. What?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
11 years to San Diego.
When?
Last night.
Dude, what happened last night?
I went out last night. Like,
They're
I
calling
was
it
like,
San Diego,
I was
bro. It's a
mourning Rico.
crushing loss. Dude, he got 280 over 11.
280 over
Holy
11.
shit.
Which is, that's a monster contract. But
we suck.
yeah, you suck. You
It
suck,
is bad.
man.
They offered him.
That's
I'll say this
crazy.
sucks. They offered him 6/160, which is a reasonable
was at
deal.
midnight, yeah.
It's just not. It's not. It's what he would have signed that in the preseason. He would have signed that in the offseason. I'm sorry, whatever, spring training. But like 6/160 is a fucking.
What's that, 27-ish, 26?
Yeah, it's a higher AAV, but it is. It's
Yeah.
like I think his AAV now is 25.5 or something like that. And so it's a reasonable.
Bro.
It's just like when they're throwing 280 at you. I think the Red Sox thought they gave a reasonable deal, which I think they did give a reasonable. It's a fair deal. It's not a knock your socks off deal. It's a fair deal.
How old is he?
He's 29. I believe.
Okay, so then that's I'm a fan.
Maybe 30,
The Phillies
maybe
did this. The Phillies did this with Bryce and Trey. They gave 13 years and then what? Trey got 12 years, whatever.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna get Bryce Harper and Trey Turner for like $25 million a year each, right? These current years, and as contracts inflate, by the time people are worried about the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th year, 25 a year is gonna look like pennies.
Yeah, right.
People are gonna be getting 45. So even when you're like, yeah, he's old and broken down for the final like 4 or 5 years of the deal. It's like at 25, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And for the current next 5 or 6 years, you look like a genius. You got the best shortstop and the best fucking outfielder for 24, 25 a year. It's like crazy.
Did you see the kid who?
Padres have unlimited money.
Apparently.
it's like there's printed. It's like they fucking have the same.
But you know what?
City.
The Padres are one of those teams until they fucking win.
Lose the
They're the
franchise.
Padres.
It's
They're
like
just-
I got in fights on Twitter all summer because Claude Giroux said after he got traded to the Panthers and like the season ended, and he's like I'm done. He's like because the Panthers were good last year and they were good again, and he was like I realized what playing for a winning team is like, and I'm done doing that. I mean I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that ever again. I'm playing for winning franchises. And then, like, a month later, he signed with the Ottawa Senators. And I was like, what the fuck was he talking about? And everyone's like, you're not paying attention to hockey fights. Fucking, they just made a bunch of big signings. I was like, no, I do pay attention to hockey. They're the Ottawa Senators.
Right.
They're a loser franchise.
Yes.
Guess where they are? Fucking dead last place.
Yeah. I mean, like, and they will, like, there are just certain teams that can't shake it, I don't think. And then eventually, you know, like, I don't know, the Diamondbacks snuck in and won a World Series, so did the Marlins and shit. But for the most part, there are teams that's why I make fun of DeGrom with the Rangers. People were making fun of the Mets, and I was like, well, when have the fucking Texas Rangers won a World Series? You know, when was the time you won? How about the Rangers? Like, these are bum-ass teams. Yeah, they were. I mean, they back-to-back, but they couldn't get it done. Dude, I mean, if the Padres can't get it done now, they truly are like a loser franchise.
It was funny because the Sox were in San Diego, I think. I forget where they were, but like they were with, I don't know how to pronounce it. Chaim? I think it's Chaim. Heim. Is it Heim? Bloom? They were all with the whole beat was with them somewhere. I don't know what. I don't think it was the winter meetings. Maybe it was.
Winter meetings are like right now.
Okay, so they just ended then.
Yeah. Okay.
And the whole beat was getting on a plane, and they were two separate planes, and the beat got on with like some of them with the Red Sox organization, some had their own, and one of the beat guys I follow was like, I'm on the wrong plane, but like there are a lot of beat guys just on the plane right now with them, and I think the general vibe was the Sox thought they had a real shot, and were blown away, and like you gotta take that money.
Rocked out of the water by 280-11. Yeah,
they doubled the offer. You gotta take that.
I mean, I guess so. But it's also like
Rico Bosco.
Well, it is funny. I mean, it is funny because Rico, apparently got a good deal from a competitor. Whether that competitor has longevity, I don't know. Like, you might get a lot of money, and then if they go under in like 2 years because there's a million fucking betting gambling sites, we'll see. But you get a good offer, you go somewhere.
Did you see the kid, by the way? The kid who broke the news. I think it's such a cool move from Zander. Like, so Zander he was at the Suns game at the Celtics Suns game, which is why I thought of that. Also, by the way, what I wanted to say in the moment was that
my lack of knowledge.
The Celtics and the Bruins both played two of the best teams last night in hockey in their sport. And the Celtics doubled up on them. Mm-hmm. The Bruins won 4-0. Boston's a fucking wagon right now.
Undefeated in November.
The boys are back, dude.
The Celtics and Bruins didn't lose
at
the Garden in November. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. Both good teams.
But Zander was at the Suns game. He was at the Suns Celtics game, and there's a different person who left for a competitor, Carabas, probably retweeted it. But this kid took a picture with Zander and was like, hate to break it to you, tweeted to Carabas, hate to break it to you this way.
Zander just told me.
But I just asked Zander if he's signing with the Sox, and he said no. And it was like 2 hours before.
That's
the curse of that guy is real. He left and everything went down the shitter.
I just asked Xander Bogaerts if he was re-signing with the Red Sox, and he said, "quote No." Hate to break the news like this.
And like he's a Celtics fan.
Yeah, he's dressed in green, got a Red Sox hat. I mean, that is brutal.
It's such a funny way.
Yeah.
If I was a free agent, I would do that too. I would just
did Carabas reply to that or anything? I mean, that is so funny.
Did he cry for real, or like post it? Because he definitely cried.
He's hammering. He's hammering ownership right now. He's saying because he is a Heim.
He had
dick
a
rider.
mouthful of cigarettes last night.
Yes, he was smoking 5 cigs at a time. He's blaming. Ownership
I think
everything.
they're out. I think they're out. Fenway Sports Group. I think they're.
That would make sense.
I think that because they just bought the Penguins, and they put Liverpool on sale. I think they are slashing costs, slashing spending, and
which sucks that fans have to go through that, But also,
it's also going to make Fenway Sports Group a pretty weird name for your company.
Yeah.
Listening to Audible on Alexa is the perfect hands-free companion to anything, okay? Be it cooking, cleaning, exercising, watching the kids, taking a nap, I don't know, anything. Audible on Alexa is exactly what you need. You can have Alexa change your reading speeds. You can have her narrate different things to you. You can have her fast forward, read at a faster pace, not fast forward, but read at a faster pace. You know what I mean. You can have her recommend new books. It can be the perfect, Alexa itself can be the perfect companion and the perfect way to connect with family during the holidays with, you put on the same music playlist. And it kind of feels like you're together even when you're across the country, okay? It does everything for you. And if you want, here's another fun fact. I'm just checking out my phone looking for other tips. Here's the deal. If you want to listen to Fear the Wolf by James Patterson, just say, Alexa, read Fear the Wolf. Okay, Alexa, if you miss something, you say, Alexa, go back 30 seconds. If you'd like to read at a faster pace, say, Alexa, read faster. You know, like that kid in class who was a little slow, you're like, dude, read faster. You're reading too slow, let's get out of here. You can do that to Alexa too, she'll listen to you. So, Alexa customers can listen to James Patterson's new Power Family football thriller, Fear the Wolf. Just say, Alexa, read Fear the Wolf. Now available free on Alexa starting 12/9. Offer only available in the U.S.
But I guess, you know, all these negotiations, it does tie back into Rico, where I don't know what was ever like. I mean, Dave just wanted him to write blogs, and Rico just never agreed to that.
Rico's out.
And I don't know why he wouldn't just, like, let me tell you something. I'll give you a little inside fucking scoop on Barstool. Like, just say yes and then don't do it. Like, Rico could have been like, yeah, I'll do 12 blogs a week. He probably would have needed to do 12 blogs a week for 2 weeks.
But Dave would have checked up on him.
For 2 weeks.
Most people.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's what Dave does. Like,
Right.
Dave used to edit us. He said he would edit Barstool New York. We would write blogs, and then Dave would review them and edit them and then publish them. And he did it for 1 day and was like, I don't want to do this anymore. You guys just do it yourself. There's no way.
But he's got people now. He does have people to be like, keep track of.
But, like, you know, there's just, you know, everything at Barstool changes like every 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, and Rico, but I think that's kind of what the difference was. Rico, usually you take your turn in the blender. You know, Rico was just always in the blender. But I think he could have done 1 year deals for the rest of his life.
That part,
Copy
that's where it's like it was hard to get through to him. But he had a lifetime contract. But the 1 year deal thing is funny. It's like a good bit. Dave likes doing it. He's not going to break the character and be like, you always have a deal, but it's always going to be a 1 year deal.
That's all he needed.
And
I think
he couldn't
get
through to that. And but to me, it's like that glass half full, glass half empty, where it's like it's a contract year every year. And if you just imagine if you write 20 blogs a week for a year, then they have to pay you more.
He was number 4.
Yeah, like they have
he was the 4th highest blogger page views.
Rico's out.
New space number 4. Like, he probably would have. That's what I think. It just comes down to he's a prideful dude, and I think he needed some level of, like, I'm not just like your bitch, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's the realization I've come to over the past night, where it's like he's too proud to come back, even if he like wants to or realizes it. Maybe I was hoping like maybe it'll all get through to him and he'll realize and he'll come back, but I think he's too proud to even admit that.
I don't think that's the worst. I think that, like, it depends on kind of where you are in life. Like, I think when you are doing Dave work, you know, you're filming his pizza reviews, you're editing his shit, you're his assistant, and you eat shit, and you know, you do that when you're like fresh out of college, right? And then I think you reach a point in your life where you're like, I don't know, I'm not going to do this anymore, you know? And like,
happened to me.
Yeah, you know, like you when you're young, you'll do anything to work for Barstool, and you'll do anything to work for Dave. And then, you know, a few years go by, and you get better at certain things, and you find your own way, and you're like, I don't need to do this anymore. I think the difference is that Rico's bread and butter is with those guys. So it's hard. He couldn't really separate it and be like, I'm going to go, you know, if his college basketball podcast was number 1, it would be like a different story. But he's got to do Pick'em, and he's got to get needled by those guys, and he's got to do the bit and the shtick. And eventually, unless, like, that's what I was saying earlier, unless you are like committed to your character, I think eventually you are like, that I'm not doing that anymore. You know, I was that guy, but I can't. You go crazy. You'll literally go crazy. And he did. He was like, you know, I remember him being like, you know, you want the shtick, and then high noons are flying around, you know, like, so. I think it was a tough spot, but I think there's a lot. I just think there's a lot of people judging from the outside that it's like you really can't understand Barstool until you work there, and then even if you work at Barstool, I don't think you can understand what Rico needed one. Dave does not do attaboys. Dave does not break character. Dave does not let you in on the bit, like, because then it's ruined.
I've almost come around on that though.
That he does, yeah.
Bro, I think I've gotten 3 attaboys in my life from Dave.
And it's,
but
I remember every one.
Like
maybe 5.
They make him count.
Yeah.
Make him count.
Yeah. It is like, what the? I like call my parents. I'm like, I'm an adult man.
Tell the trivia. That was funny. Can we tell that? When Dave, when you popped on the stream on
I
trivia?
even texted Kevin. I was like, dude, I think Dave is fucking, because it was like Dave was in a hall, and like he was in the office. I think it was before he realized his New York dates thing, or maybe it was a special day he had to come in, whatever. And I was I was walking by him, and I actually was standing still. He was walking by me, and I said, "What's up, Dave?" And like, didn't even look up, just walked right by me. And like now thinking back on it, like knowing Dave, like he probably didn't even hear me, or I don't know what.
He was like, I think Dave's like done.
I was like, I think he's like hashtag on. Like, he won't even look at me. I don't know what I did, but like I think he's fucking furious with me. And I had like not a breakdown. It wasn't that big, but it was like I was like. I don't know, because you always want to please Dave because you fucking
and we get like no interaction with him, so it's like we never know.
And then we were doing trivia like 2 weeks ago, I think.
This is funny.
And I'm on the family with Riggs and
the powerhouse squad of Riggs and John Rich.
And I was the last person.
Traitor. Riggs a traitor.
Riggs a traitor. Yeah. And I was the last person to log into the Zoom. And Dave just goes, "Oh, thank God, Feidelberg is here." And I thought he was being sarcastic, and I was like, "Wait, what did I do?" Like, I was like, "It's 3:59." Like, I was hoping we were starting at 4. And he's like, "No, just thank fucking God you're here." He's like, "I was about to take my headphones off and just go sit on the couch and not do this show. And guess what? I don't have anything else to do." He's like, he goes, "I just saw Riggs and John Rich and Gooch, whoever the fuck that is." And I was like, "I'm not doing a show against these 3 guys." And I was finally like, he goes, "We're a Monday night, Sunday night football team, and you've got us playing on fucking Thursday nights right now." And like nothing he said was wrong, and it was very mean.
Right in there in front of their faces.
Dude, it was so funny. Dude, at one point,
he's so mean to Riggs.
Dude,
so mean.
Like, I feel bad for Riggs. Every time he hears his name, he's just like saying the meanest shit subtly. Like,
At one point, Riggs' camera went out, and he's not like freaking out, but he's like, "Is this Jeff D. Lowe? Is Lowe? Is this working? All right, I'll try this." And Dave goes, "Riggs, does it really matter?"
That's what you're talking about. It's so mean.
He was like, his head was down, just playing with his hat. He's like, "Riggs, does it really fucking matter?"
Bro, and then like when
and I feel bad. Like that was, they're younger employees. They got time to get going. I'm here 12 years. I hope he still likes me. And I was like, oh, okay, that feels really good. I feel bad for them, but boy. And I texted Kevin right away. I was like, he doesn't hate me.
I think Riggs has got to be used to it by now. Because Riggs is like Greeny. He knows like what he wants to blog, and he blogs it. And there's
he's always on the top list. Like he knows he's doing work, and Dave sees that.
But it is funny when Dave will be like, you can be like a a superstar like Biz, or you can be like Riggs. It's like, oh man, you have to say his name every time.
Look, here's the deal. You know what Rhoback is. It's got the dog right here on the chest. You see how that's going right there? I'm doing this on an iPhone, obviously, but it's a dog on the chest right there. Okay, you've seen Rhoback everywhere. You've seen it on Barstool. You've seen it on the golf course. You've seen it on professional athletes. Everyone is rocking it because it's the best feel and the best fit. It is comfortable, active wear. They got hoodies. They got Q-zips. They got polos. They got everything and more. And right now, we're going to hook you up. Okay, go to Rhoback.com. That's RHOBACK.com. Use code KFC. We're going to give you 20% off. A generous 20% off, mind you. Again, that counts for everything. They got hoodies. They got if you're outside, if you've ever lifted a weight, if you've ever been to the gym, if you've ever been to the office, if you've ever been to your kid's soccer game, doesn't matter. Rhoback plays. I said the office. Rhoback plays absolutely everywhere. So again, go to Rhoback.com. Use code KFC. Generous 20% off coming your way.
So how's life as a suit? You suit?
Yeah, where was your fucking speech last night? Suit?
Yeah, you missed the whole meeting. You suit?
No, I was there. I was sitting there. I didn't really.
Oh, he's such a suit. He oversees the suits.
No, Erica was like, "You and Big Cat want to say something?" I was like, "I don't really like Big Cat can just do it. I don't really have much to say." I was kind of.
You couldn't come up with something as profound as we did.
You guys were good. I mean, Gaz's y'alls were killing me.
No. When did that dude start saying y'all?
He goes, I didn't even notice I was saying it. I was like,
that's even worse.
The third or fourth time I was like,
yeah. What?
Congrats to y'all.
Whatever y'all want to do.
Paul,
you live in Miami.
Gaz was
if you started saying ja.
Yeah, it doesn't
I get
y'all.
that.
If you move to fucking Tennessee or something.
To tell me fucking y'all, bro. You're not in the panhandle, dude.
Yeah. He was like, this company will only go as far as y'all's will take it or something like that. I was like,
I did my 183 days in Miami. Now I say fucking y'all.
he got custom hoodies for the whole social team.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah,
they had
interesting
their
logo
nicknames on it,
choices.
and-
I didn't see any KFC Radio. I didn't see
Yeah, I didn't see
any
any of that.
There was a lot of plain brie and chiclets.
Oh,
that was interesting.
I didn't know that. I was
Definitely
gonna say-
interesting.
I saw
It
them.
was
but
interesting.
I
I
saw
thought
like,
maybe it was each one had different ones and everything was represented. No.
It was
No.
it was just
Brie, pizza.
Yeah, there was brie pizza,
Chiclets.
sleep when you're dead, chiclets.
Interesting.
Okay, I didn't notice that. I just saw the one with the old school Barstool logo, like the paper logo, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't realize everything else.
They were cool
Okay.
sweatshirts, so I'll give them
They're cool sweatshirts for them, but like fuck you.
He's also Gaz. Like, obviously I've like everyone calls me Suit Hank, but it's like it's really me and Gaz. Like Gaz is also
Oh, Gaz is the
always
biggest suit.
yeah. Like he's
The biggest.
Which is funny
He's-
because he's like, like
Bro.
he's also Peter Pan,
you
man-child.
log
He's
into
not a suit, but
Hulu?
he's such a suit.
Can you log into Hulu? Dude. So we just interviewed Kumail Nanjiani, which he'll be on tomorrow's episode. I think.
Huge.
Great guy.
Just
Awesome dude.
rock solid. We took a
And,
picture. I had my hand on his back. I was like, oh my God.
I want to watch this scene with you guys. It is fucking. I was watching this on the train Tuesday night, and I was like, oh my God, this is Gaz and Dave. It was, dude, it's so funny. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. It is this guy, Ray Colon. He is hired. Chippendales at this point is starting to take off. It's becoming a big brand, a big thing. And Kumail Nanjiani is the boss. He's the guy, Steve Banerjee. And this just like a handyman gets hired around the studio, around the club, and and he has this conversation. I'll get you my login.
I got mine.
He has this conversation with Banerjee, and
It's exactly Paul.
bro,
It's Paul.
not-
It's Paul talking to Dave or Dave talking to
It's
Paul.
Paul talking to Dave.
Okay.
It is. It's obviously an exaggeration of the.
I don't even know what we're about to watch, but it might not be an exaggeration because Paul's life is the biggest fucking joke of all.
Bro, it's so funny.
I mean, Paul is got like fucking penthouse apartments in Miami now, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're talking about a guy who went and I give him all the credit in the world, like zero discernible skills and just read up on
That's what I'm
social
talking, this
media
guy is the handyman.
and all that. But like he figured out, he was like, I'll just learn everything about all these social media platforms and make myself sound. Do we need a login, boys? Can
Yeah,
we-
I gotta log in.
Yeah.
I have it on a different email.
And he somehow weasels his way into seeming indispensable.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He just knows where the bodies are buried. That'll
He's-
always be his. He's good at what he does with social, but also it's like
All right, go.
a lot of what we did. It's like there's a lot of like I know I enjoy it, but it's a lot of like really smart people, but they don't really get Barstool. So it'll be me and Gaz being like, well,
That's not gonna work with
it's
us.
Like, yeah, like,
It is-
Have you thought
I
about this? Have you
actually-
thought about that? And it's like it's definitely having him involved is like super helpful for me because I'm not feel like I'm alone and like
Yeah, you
when
get
I
some
say
backup.
something, Gaz like understands it and like
I think it
no
is-
one else does, and they're like, why can't we do this? It's like this makes no fucking sense.
right.
I think it's very good to do that promotion within kind of deal.
Hell yeah.
Because I think for so long we were hiring, and these people still work here. Some of them do, and I'm sure they're fantastic workers. But like there was a period there where like we were exclusively hiring from like the companies we
Bleacher
were like,
Report
that's who we
type
want to
people.
be. And it's like, then why are we bringing their brain in
Yeah,
here? And I
yes.
get to an extent that they might have good people.
Yeah,
And
Some of those people drove me nuts.
Nuts, man.
That
It's like-
I don't think I've ever really said this, but the Chicago thing, obviously,
I know it's in your document.
we've known. Dan's obviously told me like forever. I've always been like, let's move. He's like, we'll move to Chicago eventually. And like last year, I remember being like, when we moved to Chicago, like I really don't want anyone on top of me. Like I can do this. Like all the stuff with like the production and like the meetings and like the planning and stuff. I was like,
It just weighs you down.
I can just do it. I don't need someone else asking me. And then even what I'm saying doesn't get like properly processed or like I don't know if it's being communicated the way I've said it. And he's like, all right, we'll talk to Erica. Erica was down for it. And then like 2 weeks later, Jen left, and Erica was basically like, do you want to do it now? And I was like, I might as well like get my feet wet. So that's kind of how it started, where I wasn't thinking this was gonna be something I was doing until like
later.
next fall.
Right.
But I'm happy I did because now I feel a lot more comfortable and like,
Well,
I
and
have
especially
my,
I
have my
think
feet
if you
wet.
do it here in New York first, and then you do it, it's almost like it's got to be more hectic and chaotic here, and then when you go to Chicago, it'll be like just yours.
Yeah.
Probably be easier.
And MB's super. I mean, that's where Dave was like, I think you should do it, but I think it should be you and MB. And that
Yeah,
was
having
like
two
100%
people,
the
you know
right
that.
call because
Yeah.
she knows all the sales stuff. She's like super, super, super helpful with like anything that
You know
I
what?
don't get. It's like I can just sit with her and I'm like, why did like make this make sense? And she can. And like,
Yeah,
it's
she
not
knows
like we have
that's
a good like
I hate though that it's like there's probably still some elements of like the sales world where you need somebody with a fucking other like clients and shit think they need to talk to somebody who has like 20 years experience and a degree and blah blah blah, and it's like, no, just talk to Hank and MB, they'll figure it out, trust me. Let's see this clip.
Dude.
So Kumail is Dave, right?
Kumail is Dave, yes. And the picture's happening in Millen.
Yes.
It sounded like he just said Guyz.
I fucked up. Big time, y'all. I should have known. I should have seen that there was treachery at fuck. Of course, you're not cool with no competing calendar. Why would you be? You gave Otis a chance. You took him under your wing, and look how he did you. It ain't right. I ain't never been to boss none before, but I seen enough movies to know that when you're the king, there's gonna be snakes in the grass. People want to take you down and steal your crown. But what I want you to know, from the bottom of my heart is, you don't gotta worry about that with me. No matter what shady scheming bullshit is going down, there's always one person who'll have your back. All right, good one.
This music.
He's a fucking boss. I want to watch his show now.
Dude,
Yo, bro, but what's so funny is like because
bro, if you don't like,
He
if you
looks
don't-
like, I mean, you can tell he's a G in the show.
if
Like,
you
he's
don't
got,
know
he's got
about
the look.
real gangster.
Chippendales got started, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I know that like you can just see from the music and the way he's acting and shit that it's supposed to be like a real tense moment, but because you planted that seed first, that felt like I was watching one of those like telenovelas.
Yeah.
Like it was like super like satire. That is hilarious. Yeah, the amount of like Dave gave me my entire life tweets that Guyz has sent in his life. It's got to be like 3 dozen. So wait,
Shout out to the boys over at Beard Guyz. Talking Beard Guyz with a Z. That's Beard Guyz with a Z. They offer comprehensive beard care for all types of facial and skin types. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, whatever your skin is like, whatever kind of hair you're like, thick, coarse, right? Sensitive, whatever. Beard Guyz has you covered with incredible and irresistible scents, okay? Look at me. Do I look like a beard guy to you? I'm a mustachio guy. Go over to Beard Guyz right now. They got all kinds of featured products. They got the Beard Wash and Tame. Okay, 2-in-1 wash and conditioner for beard hair. What, you wash all your other hair, you're not gonna wash the hair on your face? That's crazy town. What about the Beard Balm? Turns your facial hair, I'm saying tames facial hair while keeping it soft and smooth. Oh, what else you want? You want a beard oil? It softens the facial hair, hydrates the skin. It does everything you need. So go over to our boys over at Beard Guyz right now. Craft your beard care routine at beardguyswithaz.com.
so doing all the suit stuff, are you dealing with like a lot of outsiders who like have you had any issues where it's like people are like this guy doesn't have experience or this guy, well, you know what I mean? Or is it mostly like internal stuff?
It's mostly internal stuff.
Yeah.
Has
there been anybody here who's had a problem with it?
with me?
Yeah.
Not really. I don't think.
I wonder if there's going to be anybody being like, why do I have to listen to this guy? You know, like, what is this
Well,
guy?
like, I was thinking
there's
like a
this
sales
realm.
person.
I think some of the I think there's definitely some element to that, but that's I don't really care about that. Where it's like if they don't, sometimes they just don't get stuff, and you just have to be like, this doesn't make sense, and it's like I might be a little more blunt or like I'm just like being straight
that's
up
what
like this makes no fucking sense.
So
and then
your
they're
approach has just been like, I know Barstool. If you bring me an ad deal that makes no sense, if you bring me some content that makes no sense, you'll just flat out be like, no, we're not doing this.
It's more
idea
like
sucks.
the thing that I mean. It's this thing. I know, like you've gotten frustrated. We've gotten frustrated with part of my take. It's always the things that it's like they don't get communicated beforehand, and then they're like, you have to do this because we sold it, and it's like,
Well,
why didn't we talk
I'm
about
in the
this
middle of
before?
that right now.
Why didn't we talk about this before? Because we would have been like, this makes no sense.
Right,
And then
I
it's
would've
like,
told you
and
from
then
the
they're
jump.
like, well, we sold it. Like, can we just do it? And it's like, that shit drives me crazy because now it's like I'm in the position where it's like, it's not where I'm just the producer, and sometimes that happens where they're like, oh, sorry, we sold this. You have to do it. It's like the whole process is supposed to be like, it should mean MB should at least like hear about it, or like at least like be like, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, they should be able to do this. And like if we can talk to like the talent and be like, would you guys do this, how can we make this work? Because I'm definitely on board of like, if we can make money, let's make money.
Absolutely.
But like,
They're usually,
let's just
I like when
figure
they
it out
come
first.
to us and they're
Yes.
like, can you do this? And I'm like, we can't do that, but we could do this.
Yes.
And then, that idea works out better and it all works. But
because I'm never gonna be like, no, we're not doing this. It doesn't make no. It's like, let's do it. Let's just figure it out. And like,
Barstool style,
and it just might take an extra step, or like talk to you guys, like talk to them, be like, would you do this? Can we do this for?
which is crazy.
But
That
they
that's not
they
the
still will
first
be
step.
like,
Yeah.
some of the things are that, and it's just like it's dumb shit where they just sell, they're like, pick 'em as a year-long podcast, right? It's like, no, it's
not-
never has
Well,
been.
I
Like,
think there's a lot of people who want their commission.
Yeah.
And the sales right in front of them, and they say
That's
okay,
it. That's
and then they're like, I'll make it work. I'll
They're
get
like,
my
yeah.
30% or 20%, whatever the fuck it is, and then they're like, I'll figure it out after the fact.
yeah, like we need to make more money. Can we do 8 ad reads in part of my take? It's like, no,
No,
like
yeah,
no,
yeah.
we do a lot already.
No,
Like
that's
we're not.
crazy.
There's no podcast I listen to that have that many ad reads. Like
Right.
I know if we did it, you'd be able to make more money, and like that would look good on the balance sheet and stuff. But it's like,
Right, but
that's
it
not
ruins the podcast.
feasible. Yeah, like an
Yeah.
actual reality. Like that would be terrible.
Right. Well, we're
I
doing.
think you should also be, if you sell a podcast, you should be required to listen.
Listen to
Yes.
the podcast.
Oh my
yes.
I don't think that's the case.
Not
Be
even
like, we'll
a
get-
little bit, dude.
Like, what the fuck
Nobody
are you selling?
listens.
How do you,
yeah.
how can you sell something when you don't understand the product?
Right. I mean, some of the things.
We had a meeting last week with a lot of the upper level producers where we just talked about the sales process and how that is the number one thing. Where it's like somebody asked, I think Renell, like, do you guys put the interviews in the podcast? He's like, this entire show is based off of interviews.
Yeah, how do you not
Like,
know
are
that?
you out of your fucking
dumb
mind? Like,
fucking assholes.
It is that.
I
is-
want. I
that
think we
drives me
should
nuts.
have meetings and like we sit down with salespeople and we give them quizzes. We do like the dozen, and
that
if you
too.
if you can't get them right, you don't get to sell us.
That's not a bad idea.
Right. Or-
I wouldn't know how to
or-
do
or
it because
like-
I don't remember what I say on this podcast.
It's even like
Somebody-
who's the cast of the podcast.
Yeah,
there's,
yeah, like,
there's
doesn't have to
some
be
of it
the-
I get where it's
the-
like you can't listen to every show, but some of the things that get brought up, it's like
You don't
there's
know
no
this?
shot. Like you're
Yeah.
asking, like it's like $20 chef doesn't work here. Like
Yeah.
why is
Come
he
on.
on like the materials of like the
Yeah,
show?
That's crazy stuff. Like, if you wanna come to me with some product or some service that is like terrible for me to sell, I'll quiz you. And if you can answer these questions, I'll do it. That would be great. That would be a lot of fun.
That would be very funny.
I mean, it's
Pencils down.
Yeah. You're sitting there great.
We're all outta here.
Yeah. See you fucking later. None of you can sell us. And then we don't make any money, so we're like, wait, come back. It's a whole thing. I think people it is nice, like at Barstool, that there's a lot of people, a lot of teams who take care of all your shit. Like even when we're traveling, we're doing live shows, sales. It's like, sometimes I'm like, I look at some of the comics that we know and the people who are on their own and they're making so much fucking money, but they also spend so much money and have to deal with all the bullshit and legal ramifications if they fuck up and all that. And it is nice to just be like, that has been taken care of for like 15 years. But sometimes it's also like, there's just so many cooks in the kitchen where it's like, just let me do this my fucking self.
I completely agree with you there, and that's always like from the old days been the mindset of like everything we do we have to flesh out ourselves. And so I still have that mindset, and I think as good as the growth is, this is like a production thing. It's like everything where there's so many cooks in the kitchen where people don't have like, I got to do everything myself. Like, oh, someone's going to do it for me. And then they always have an excuse for like, oh, well, like this didn't happen, or this person didn't do this, or this person didn't do this, where it's like, you shouldn't be thinking about like who to blame. It's
It
like you
ultimately
should
falls
always
on you.
blames on you.
Yes,
And it's like, if you
yes.
are worried about someone else, like just figure it out or like go through the process, where it's like, that's always like, it's just like ingrained in me, where it's like, all right, let's flesh it out. Let's do the like
Start to finish.
right, which is like why I like working like with the sales team and with the marketing team and like it's basically like beginning, middle, end, and then I love production. Like that's always going to be like what I like to do like creatively, and like I obviously know production and like our production team, so it's like then it's like the end once it gets sold, working on it on the way back and like making sure like that all gets executed the right way. So I like that, like I just enjoy like being involved and like
Well, that's the
knowing-
difference though.
like
because
the production stuff I know, the sales stuff I'm learning. But
I don't think like when new people come in and they they blame others or
You gotta be a
complain.
scumbag to be like the face of something and blame someone else. Like, dude,
Yeah.
it's your name on the fucking building.
Right.
It's
It's
your
at the end of the
fault.
day, it's
Right.
your thing.
And I don't mean not
And-
your name's on the building here, but like it's your name on the building of
your
your brand.
product.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Put your fucking.
But I also understand that like sometimes we want these like new people to like behave like we do, and it's like, why would they?
Right.
They didn't go through like what we went through. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
we
I
built this fucking thing, so we always had our hands on everything, and B, like wanted to, because it was like we want to make this the best it can be. We were competitive with each other, with other companies. Now, if you start at Barstool tomorrow, you're like, I'm starting at a major media conglomerate.
Yeah.
Like, why would I have my hands in on everything? Why would I? Like they it's like not even a thought, because
Which
how could you?
we've definitely become the uphill both ways and
Right.
the snow people.
And
Which, like,
and how could
is-
you know how could
like,
how could
like
you
100%?
No,
but
no,
I am,
but
and
but that's also like, this is very inside Barstool talk, but that's also life, where it's like when you know you're yelling at your kids like I used to do it like this. It's like, yeah, well, that was 30 fucking years ago, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how the world is now. So it's like, yeah,
when
we
you get
don't
a job,
put up,
you go pound the pavement, you shake hands, look him in the eye.
No, you don't, Dad. That's not at all what you do. So it's like, yeah, we used to blog every 30 minutes. Well, that would be physically impossible now. Like,
Yeah.
so, and we used to, do it all on our own. It's like, well, now I have, a sales team and this team and that. They can't, and you can't possibly have that mindset. So it's like, I try not to blame them, because it's like, it's not. The reason I think I can relate is because sometimes Dave will be like, "How come you guys don't do it like me?" And it's like, well, I don't own fucking 80% of the company. I didn't make $100 million this year, so you put in the amount of effort and love according to how much you get out of it. So it's like some new person joining up is not going to have the same passion for it that we did when we were building it from the ground up. And so how could you?
I remember Dave one time. I asked for like a long weekend, like a Thursday to Sunday. And I'd probably been working here like 4 or 5 years or something like that. And he was like, "You really want to take?" Like, that was my first time ever. He's like, "You really want to take a vacation?" I was like, "It's Thursday to Sunday." But I was like, "Yeah, like we're just heading up skiing or whatever we were doing. I don't remember." And he just goes, "I mean, anyone who takes a vacation in the first 10 years is just going to be an absolute failure." And I was like. I was so taken aback. It's
so hard, though. It's
I was like, wait, are you telling me?
Nope.
I was like, all of my friends are going to be complete failures. And he was like, yes. And I was like, I just
disagree.
don't think that's true. And just me and all those friends are about to enjoy a beautiful weekend in Martha's Vineyard and a lovely home because everyone's doing great.
I remember the first year. He said we got bank holidays off, and Martin Luther King was it Martin Luther King? Yeah, Martin Luther King was a bank holiday, and so I was like at a ski house, and I got lucky because I think the Jets beat the Chargers in like a big game or something happened with LaDainian Tomlinson, whatever it was. So I like had to blog it anyway. So I had like a couple things up on the site, but like everybody else was just like not working, and he was like, "What the fuck is this?" And we were like, I don't know, you told us we had these holidays off. And he was like, well, you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I never, for the next 15 years, ever did anything on MLK Day ever again.
Dude, one of my favorites. No, after you, please.
Oh, no, you can go ahead. I'll go ahead.
One of my favorites was, I remember I had to blog because he wrote a blog about how lazy I am because I didn't come to work one day. And I was just blogging from home.
Yeah.
And this is before work from home was ever a thing. This is I was in
snow day.
Yeah.
This is fucking hilarious. I remember this.
Dude.
It was like a 10 feet of snow.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was like the biggest snowstorm in Boston history.
And your car was like in the street.
I had to my car was like in the street. You couldn't see the cars in the street.
Right. It got like
And
plowed in,
wasn't-
right?
No, it wasn't plowed yet.
Dave could
You
walk
just-
to work.
Dave lived on the same block as work. So, so it was like, what the fuck? Feilenberg's such a lazy goddamn motherfucker. And it was like, I had to take a picture outside my window and be like, this is my, like, I don't know. The fucking T's not running.
Yeah.
Cabs aren't running. This is my car right now.
What did he say to that?
I think I was like, I'm not a carpenter. We're not building a house. I'll just do it from here.
Yeah.
And like now, that's what everyone does.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't think he wrote a reply blog. I don't think he replied to me at all.
No, of course
but
not.
it was like Feidelberg's the laziest person in the history of the world. And It was physically impossible.
And you were doing the same work.
And I was working
from home.
from home. And it's not like we talked and collaborated all that often.
Hell
like,
no. Yeah.
Like Dave would walk in and do his thing, and we walk out.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of just did their thing and got out. And it was very much like here. Like right now, people just kind of do their thing and they fucking go home. And
that is great.
And it was just like
I do remember that. You guys got hit with like 3 feet, it's like 6 feet of snow, like twice in a row,
dude,
wasn't it? Like 2 weeks in a row. It was like
not 2 weeks. It was like, dude, it snowed like it was February. I think it snowed like every single day that February, and it was just like it was like the plows were like, all right, you guys win, we'll catch you in March. Like, the cars aren't going anywhere anymore, and it was just like it was so much snow.
When did you made the move to PMT, right? Like when they started, or did it take a little while?
It was when it started. I don't know if both of you were involved in this when you were talking about like the being done with Dave and like, you know, being the butt of the joke. Like when we were on the Dixie tour, when you came, we didn't pick you up, but like we went out the night before. We were up till like 4 a.m. We like brought people back to the bus. It was definitely dumb, and I was definitely like drinking and involved. But like Ben was the bus driver, and it was like 4 a.m. I was like, everyone, we gotta go to sleep. Like, we gotta pick up Feidelberg tomorrow. The airport was like 3 hours away. But I was like, you know, we gotta get up. We gotta do this. We gotta pick him up tomorrow. Like, let's go to sleep. Like, all right. Alarm went off. I was like shaking him, like getting up, and like Caleb was like, we're not fucking picking him up. Like, I'm getting a cab. Like, I'm making the decision. Like, I was like. And David already said, like,
it's in Tallahassee.
Yeah,
right?
like Caleb's like show to run. So like, Caleb was like, I'm not doing it. Like, we're not doing it. Like, I'll get him a cab. Like, it's fine. I'll take the responsibility, whatever. Feidelberg landed. No one was there. He was rightfully upset, and then Dave was pissed.
I was upset.
Or you were just like, this is
like,
kind of
no
crazy. Yeah, this is kind of this is wild. Like, I'm here for you guys, and no one's here. No one's here.
Yeah.
And Dave like texted me. It was like, you never cease to amaze me how bad you fuck up or something. And I was like so upset because I was like. I was trying to do the right thing, like and at that point, I was always the butt of the joke. Like I was always getting shit on. I was like 22, and I was like done with it. Where I was like, I can't. After the Dixie tour, like we had, and then we obviously went out for like 3 days straight. Like we were partying, and like I remember.
You remember we almost had someone die on the bus?
Yeah, it was a wild weekend. I remember there was like it was the last night. It was like 4 a.m. We stopped. Me and you were coming back from somewhere. We stopped. We were like sitting down. I was like, dude, I think I'm done. Like when we go back, like I can't. If I'm ever gonna like move on, like I'm 22. Like if I'm ever gonna have like a real life or like whatever, I'm done like being the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
And then after that was the.
Because even though it's 22, that's 4 years worth.
Right.
Like, that's a long time.
And then right after that trip, the next week was the Mets Cubs thing, and we were driving. Like Caleb and Ben drove overnight. We got up at like 6. You, me, and Big Cat. And I went up to you guys. I was like, yo, like, and at the time, I knew, obviously, you and Dave and Dan had beef, and you guys had beef. Like, you guys, you know, I would hear, like, there was issues, and, like, so I was like, oh, they're going to understand. Like, I'm going to go up, and, like, told them, I was like, all right, I'm leaving. Like, once the Dixie tour's over. And I was probably, I don't know that I would have ended up making this decision. It was, like, I was coming off a bender, and I was, like, just upset, and, like, fucking, my head was all fucked up. But, like, at the time, my mind was made up, and I told you guys, I was like, I'm leaving when I'm done. It's over. And then you guys were like, I think things are changing. Like
you were leaving Barstool.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I think maybe you were leaving like Dave, but also like
there was no. Yeah, and like we were on the college tour. There's all these like I was like, college is fucking awesome. Like I could easily just go back to college and like people wouldn't care that much. Like I'd be kind of have some like notoriety, but like at these colleges, no one really knew. I was like I could easily just blend in and like move on with my life.
Right.
And then you guys were like, things are changing, things are better. This guy Chernin's gonna buy us, and then Big Cat was like, I think I'm starting a podcast with PFT, who like we had met before, and I obviously like you introduced me to me on Twitter back in the Milton office. We used to fucking die laughing at his tweets, but that was when it was like, oh, like I was 100% done at the time. I was like, my mind was made up, I'm leaving, and then we had the conversation, and you guys were like, no, I think like, and Big Cat was like, you should think about it more. Like I want to start this podcast. Like, I want you to help.
I remember that on that on the bus.
So that was like it's nice to have like a moment where it's like that changed everything. Where I was like after that I was like, all right, if I'm doing this, I'm gonna take it seriously, and like I put myself in the position to be the butt of the joke. Like I wasn't even mad at Dave or anyone. It was like all the shit I did, like I did to myself, and like it was like I was playing along, and I was.
That's kind of the character thing. Was like, how did I get here?
Yeah, I was like
I was doing was working for a little bit, and now I'm fucking here. There's like I don't like this.
Right. And it was like, I was a fuck up, but it was like, you can, like, I was like, if you're fuck up, it's like, Dave literally said, like, he's like, we're not giving you a raise because you're good at your job. Like, it's just funny when you fuck up and it's good content. And I was like, well, all right, well, I'll just, whatever then. I'll just be myself and fuck up. And, like, if that's what you want, like, that's easy for me. But over time, I was like, I I can't do this forever.
Eventually, you're like, you're happy to just get your foot in the door and make some money and get in the show, but eventually you can't.
I remember
if
having
you have
that
any
talk
sense
with
of
Dave,
like
too,
pride or your own like personality, you can't.
I was just like, it wasn't. I wasn't like stop with that. I was like, I just went up to his office one day. And I was like, can you please, just like, can sometimes we just have a conversation? Like,
Like don't put it on the blog first.
Just you and I. I think it was maybe after you posted the picture of me asleep, which was at 7 p.m. And he's like, look at Feidelberg asleep at the office. It was one of those days where I was like, I'm not going home. Like it's gonna be traffic. Like I'm just taking a nap.
Yeah.
And it was. I saw fucking swear on the Bible. It was 7 p.m. Work was done.
My bad.
My bad.
And he's like, and I was like, can we just sometimes like just have a conversation? Just like keep it in the locker room. Like keep it like that's like a conversation. That's a thing.
Yeah.
And
he said no.
And he was just like it's worked. Like obviously like you can't question the recipe.
Sure.
He's like no, everything we do is on camera. And I was like,
so-
I get that too.
So yeah, two things there.
I think I hope to find a healthy in between.
Yeah,
but
I think there's two things there. I think you can't question the success, and I think often Dave going with his gut has led to a fucking $500 million company, but sometimes I'm like, I think it would have been $1 billion if we played a couple cards differently. So like. I don't want to say, like you did it wrong or anything, but it's like there is room for improvement and room to like make changes and shit. So, and then also I think that if Dave almost had a conversation with people that's like, we're like a reality show now, basically, like all the time, and you kind of knew the score a little bit, like you knew, like almost like what I was saying with Rico, where he said like, yeah, like, we're going to do this, but like, but you want it to be as like real as possible. He wants you to like either fear him or,
it's like when Michael Scott comes out and tells the office he's about to fake fire Stanley because he wants them to react like it's a real fire. He's like if you didn't tell us this, we would have.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. But when then, the whole office would be like in fear or something, then I don't think you're getting the best out of everyone. So I think it's probably a better way to do all that, because it's like, it's the same thing with the internet. Like sometimes I'll, trolls are like getting to me and I'm like, oh, I'm being the pussy right now. Like they're just chirping me. They're just like busting my balls and I'm taking it seriously. And if Dave does mean it. It's not like he's joking. But if you take it as like he's busting balls and he's doing it for the camera and it is somewhat real, but it's also trumped up for entertainment, and you just go with it.
That's what I hate.
He's also like emotionless, where there's been arguments, we've got an argument, and I learned that early on, where it's like, it's over, it's over.
Oh yeah,
like he doesn't like he's gonna say it, and it's like it's gonna come across real, and people are gonna make he's so mad, and it's like he's not even mad. He's just like he's getting it off his chest, and once it's off his chest, he's like, all right.
He holds a grudge against people he hates, but people he doesn't. He really can. I think like compartmentalize and keep.
And you can tell him whatever I've always appreciated I can say whatever I want to him, and he'll be like, "You're a fucking idiot." No, but he's not gonna be like, "I can't believe you said that to me." Like you can like.
Run an idea, Two-Man Tuesday,
or like whatever, like even like in the old, like when there was like the dark days, like early 2016, 2017, where it's like I would be like making a case for something, and then like he'd be like, "No, you're a fucking idiot. This makes no sense. Like you're not getting a YouTube channel. Like you guys can't sell merch." Like, and I was like, he's like, "You don't know shit about business," and it's like, all right, well, at least I said it, and then whatever, like it is what it is.
But I think that's the difference, man. I think that's why you are where you are. Is like having the balls to say it and do it and take your lumps, or be embarrassed or whatever, and then where you look up, you're almost the opposite. It was like you look up and all of a sudden you're the producer of the #1 podcast in the world. Like, how did I get here?
Dude,
all the fucking time. I mean, the suit shit too, where it's like I'm in these meetings and it's like with smart people, and it's like they're like asking me for like decisions. I'm like, I'll give you my opinion, but like. Is it the right one? I don't fucking know. But here it is.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right.
Here's my opinion.
What do you think? It's like, I'll give you what I think, but like I don't know that it's right.
Do you guys still have? I remember when you first started. I remember Dan sent us your first episode ever, and was like, "What do you think?"
With the reggaeton.
With the reggaeton. Dude, I remember. I was like, "Oh boy, this isn't gonna go well." Like, I remember my 2 notes for Dave to Dan were like, stop the reggaeton, because there was so much reggaeton.
Which funny now, I bet you they could do that.
Oh,
and it would be hilarious.
100,000%.
But to be like the first episode, people don't know you yet.
It's like a sound. We try to do this radio soundboard for a podcast, basically.
Yeah.
That was
what was the other note?
It was something. I remember it was like it was like March, and there was like a 10-minute, and the Lakers were like 2-70, and there was like a 10-minute conversation. I'm like, can the Lakers make a run? And I was like, I think you're going a little too overboard on satire here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's like, that's probably a good note too.
Reggaeton and
satire. There's no chance they make a run. The season's over next month. They're in dead last place. Like,
all right, man. Well, we appreciate it as always.
Oh, wait, real quick. The kid almost died. Do you remember the kid almost died?
Oh yeah, what's that story?
Yeah, dude. It was weird.
We like really like resuscitated him.
Like, dude, we were
I don't
outside.
think I know this story at all.
We were outside.
We told it.
'Cause I don't know if he died or not.
Pray tell.
No.
Also hilarious. The whole funny part of that weekend is that Mitch Trubisky was like with us the whole
Yeah.
He was just in the cut. And then that Sunday, so that was where I was down so bad. I'll let you tell the story real quick, but we obviously you came on like a Wednesday or Thursday, and we had gone out the Tuesday, so it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like binging hard, partying. I was down bad mentally. I was like quitting the company. Like, I was down horribly. I lost my phone on Sunday, so like Sunday was just like the biggest Sunday scaries of all time. Where I was like, I'm about to go tell I'm gonna see Big Cat and KFC. I'm gonna tell them I'm quitting. Like this is my life was like all coming to a crashing halt. Lost my phone, and then Mitch. He didn't do anything wrong. His flight just got canceled, but he was supposed to have practice Sunday morning. He had like an early morning flight. His flight got canceled. There was nothing he could do. So he was back with us waiting for his flight later in the afternoon. So it was like we were down horribly. Like the whole bus was just down so bad. And then obviously like everything, like it was like I was saying earlier, it's nice to have that one moment where like that changed everything.
Yeah.
But
that right before that Sunday before was like we were all just like down horrifically bad for different reasons.
Those are the best Sundays though. When you're always like,
we were like,
and then you're right back at it.
Like if a fucking
Thursday,
meteor hit this bus, that would be.
Please.
Please.
I don't even have a phone. Like if I'm getting texts, I don't know. Like, I'm probably fired. Like.
And this kid was a rando or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were on the bus outside Potbelly's and partying, and from what I recall, I don't think we'd done any drugs, but maybe we had.
No, definitely not.
But this kid like was looked like he was having like a panic attack, like an anxiety attack, like he's like red and he's like shaking, like I think he fell out of his chair, and
Young kid, like college kid.
Yeah, he went to FSU, and I didn't say it out loud, but in my head I was like the opening scene of Bad Boys 2. When he's like, don't let him die. Don't let her die in the club.
I was going to get her
Drag her
out.
on the fucking alley.
Yeah. Get him off the bus.
That kid cannot die on the Barstool bus.
You can die next to the Barstool bus. You can't die on the Barstool bus.
Yeah, you can die on the fucking Tallahassee public street, but
yeah.
not on this goddamn bus. Mm-hmm. But no, we it wasn't me, obviously. Someone did something to like get him back to consciousness, and then we still called him an ambulance. And he was.
We're talking like CPR type shit or what?
It was
something like.
I
don't think it was CPR, but it was
just
like
slapping him in the face, probably.
I think I was too busy opening the door, going for his feet.
I actually think I left. I saw that I
ran from the
there was
scene.
like a lot of people helping. I was like, I
flee.
can't do this right now. Like this is it was similar to Feidelberg because Feidelberg was like young then. I was like, I saw that all happening. I was like, this is happening. Like
I would probably run. I'd be like, I wasn't there. I was not there for that.
That's pretty much what I just walked. I took a walk down the block. I was like, this is like I can't do this. Fucking happening.
I'm gonna go back there. That's either gonna be resolved or that kid's gonna be dead. But I was gonna be around the corner. So
I'm gonna go get arrested for assault, so I have an alibi.
Yeah.
I see the kid die. I was too busy punching that chick in the face. I was too busy spitting on a police horse.
Oh man, I love it, bro. Congrats on everything, by the way. You're gonna be great in Chicago.
Subscribe to KFC
you.
Radio
Can't wait,
on
bro.
YouTube to get all the video content. Subscribe, comment, like, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you know whenever new video content drops.
I want to say something, but the video has to be fast, so that's it.